Well, it was a long day of over 8 hours of satellite football camps here in South Florida at Florida Atlantic and Florida International. Hi, Sean Callahan here with Nate Klaus for HuskerOnline.com with video producer Greg Peterson as we put a wrap on this day in South Florida. And Nate, it started this morning. Lane Kiffin and Florida Atlantic had everybody at his place, and they dodged the weather, grass fields. It's still, for all things considered, a very productive day at FAU with a ton of talent.
Yeah, it was a very productive day considering it rained all last night. Actually, it rained right up until the camp started, and we dodged the rain started right before it ended. So, but a ton of talent, probably right around 400 or 500 kids there, and they were able to test out and work out on those grass fields. I think that there was a good amount of underclassmen talent there that Nebraska was able to kind of identify. At least one offer made out to an underclassman too.
Yeah, Nebraska made one offer. You made mention of that, and I'm sure you look at the talent, they could have made 100 offers today. I mean, seriously, I mean, that is the type of talent we saw. Probably over 1,000 kids, but we know of one for sure offer that came out of the morning camp.
Yeah, Kenny McIntosh, 2019 Rivals 100 running back from Fort Lauderdale University School, landed an offer from Nebraska. And it was funny to see how that kind of came about, because Reggie Davis wasn't on this trip. So you kind of had some other coaches pick up the slack and identify McIntosh as a legit talent at that running back position. Dante Williams, Keith Williams, both kind of honed in on him, gave him a lot of attention, and ended up offering him at the end of the day. And this is a talented kid. He's definitely well on the map with a ton of schools. Already has a number of offers. Now the Huskers have kind of thrown their hat in the ring as well.
I do also want to mention at FAU we got a chance to spend a lot of time with former Husker player, defensive coordinator, legendary coach Monte Kiffin, father of Lane Kiffin. And that to me might have been my highlight of the day, just hearing Monte Kiffin tell old Nebraska stories.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That was a special moment. He came out towards the end of the camp and was meeting and greeting a lot of the coaches that were there, and we were lucky enough to talk with him and hear a few stories from Coach Kiffin there. And that guy could have told a heck of a lot more stories than he did.
We could have given him a couple hours.
Absolutely, but that was definitely a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity there.
Well, then here in the evening session, they moved things into Miami at Florida International. Butch Davis, the new head coach here, former Miami Hurricane, North Carolina, NFL Cleveland Browns coach, in his first season, really trying to build something. I almost thought, Nate, the talent might have been a little higher grade here in the evening session. I mean, there was talent galore here in FIU Stadium.
Yeah, at least 600 kids, and I'll tell you what, especially at the skill position, wide receiver, defensive back. I mean, there were hundreds of guys that are going to be playing college football somewhere someday.
Kids can just run a 4.6 like it's nothing, and I mean the amount of 4.4, 4.5 guys. You'd almost have to see it to believe the type of skill when you go to a place like South Florida.
Yeah, the amount of talent at this camp, just leave your head spinning. And Nebraska did kind of hone in on a handful of guys. I'm sure there are a ton of guys that are now on their radar, but certainly picked out a few guys that they were given a lot of attention to. Start off with a couple of Miami commits, oddly enough. 4-star wide receiver Mark Pope was getting a lot of attention from Keith Williams. Also Gregory Russo, who's a giant athlete out of Champaign Catholic High School here in Miami.
And his coach played at Wayne State, by the way.
His coach played at Wayne State.
For 1 year, but it was an interesting little nugget he shared with us.
Yeah, that's something you don't see or hear every day down in South Florida. But Russo is a giant athlete, probably about at least 6'5", 215, 220 pounds, could project at a number of positions.
And a solid commit to the Hurricanes.
Yeah, solid commit to the
obviously,
Hurricanes.
But just Nebraska at least made it known. They introduced himself and made sure at least he was aware of who they were and spent a good half hour probably talking to him.
At least. And I think the Huskers see him as a guy who could potentially play that boundary outside linebacker position, a position that they're recruiting for in this 2018 class, and really don't have the ideal guy maybe safety on their roster right now, and they think that Russo could be that guy. But again, looks like he's completely solid to Miami.
Well, that wraps it up here in Miami. Nebraska will be off on Friday. We'll all fly out to St. Louis Friday night as Nebraska will conduct a satellite camp at Lindenwood in St. Louis before their final camp on Sunday at the Redlands College just outside Los Angeles in the Inland Empire. So just 2 more camps to go, but the official Adidas camps now in the books. There will be one, I guess, at Arizona State where both John Perella and Reggie Davis will go to that camp. That will be on the same day as when Nebraska is in Los Angeles. But signing off here in Miami for video producer Greg Peterson and Nate Klaus, I'm Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com.